tits, bitch.
Hello, fiends and fiendettes. Welcome to the movie review portion of episode 99 of the best horror podcast on 7voltmedia.com. Scream Fiends. I'm your host, Xander, and with me once again is Russ. Yep. I blacked out there for a second.
I saw that.
That was weird. Get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you think of our movie of the week. If you liked it, if you hated it.
Well, yeah.
We're our memories are shit, so we're bound to miss details in these movies. So if you notice something that we've missed, leave a comment down below. Let us know what we have forgotten. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to leave a like or dislike if you fucking hate us.
Oh, man. Yeah, don't.
Which will be good.
Just leave a dislike. Don't leave a comment.
Yeah.
Fuck
you guys. Fuck you fucking assholes.
I haven't looked at any of the videos online. Do we have any thumbs down on our videos?
A couple.
I don't blame them.
No, not at all.
I'm not even mad about that.
Not even a little bit.
It's so bad.
Patreon.com/ScreamFiends. You can donate if you would like. We would love your support, but you do not have to. All of our content will always be free of charge.
Yeah. Sure will.
Yep. So let's do this. This episode's movie of the week is 2018's Mandy.
Under the crimson, primordial sky, the wretched warlock reached into the dark embrace. His fist closed around the serpent's eye. Strange and eternal.
I need you to get me that girl I saw. You know what to do. You're a special one, Mandy. I, too, am a special one. Let us be so very special together.
So what you gonna do with that thing?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil. You think you're so in love? I'll show you love.
Oh man, very wrong with you.
You exceed the cosmic darkness.
It glowed from within, strange and eternal.
This movie is starring Nicolas Cage as Red Miller, Andrea Riseborough as Mandy Bloom, Linus Roach as Jeremiah Sand, Ned Dennehy as Brother Swan, and Richard Brake as the Chemist. It was written by Panos Cosmatos and Aaron Stewart Don, and directed by Panos Cosmatos. His name's fun to say.
Yeah, Cosmatos.
Cosmatos.
You might recognize that name from Beyond the Black Rainbow, which I went and saw in a theater, which is...
Oh, that's the one that you...
It was the most interesting and worst experience of my life.
Yeah, didn't you see that at like the Lagoon or something like that?
It was a different theater, like really small,
Yeah.
little tiny venue, and there was no air conditioning, and it was the hottest day of the summer.
Mm.
So it was just like I almost walked out, but I couldn't stop watching the screen. It's a very interesting movie. If you've not seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, please watch it. Get back at us at screamfiends.net or whatever it is.
On Twitter at Screamfiends.
Type in www.screamfiends.com
.biz
/_ and use the code shit and you'll get a free t-shirt.
So this movie, the only thing I knew about this movie going in was that I saw a picture of Nicolas Cage covered in blood with a chainsaw. That's the only thing I needed to see before I was like, I need to see this movie.
That's essentially the same. I just saw bloody Nicolas Cage and hey, this movie's not that bad titles on like sites. I'm like, okay, well, what's this one?
And this movie is quite a trip.
Yep.
Quite a trip.
Yep.
Pretty much
Hey, it's about tripping.
indescribable in its...
So if you've seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, there is definitely, you can feel Cosmatos directing this movie. Like he's got a style, and I like it, and I want to see more from him.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool style. The cinematics of this movie are great, and the lighting, and just this shit looks good.
Yeah, so it
I mean, I'd give it a gold just based on the cinematography. If I were to only say just the cinematography, I'd give it a gold based on that.
It is a work of art.
It really is.
For sure.
Yep, even with Nicolas Cage in it. I mean, I like Nicolas Cage, but it's just like...
Everything with Nicolas Cage.
But like his latest couple movies haven't been the greatest things, you know, and it's like... I think hiring him to be in this is a risk, honestly. Like, I mean, just because of what he's been tied to lately with the Ghost Riders and the Drive Angries. And
see, I think that was a certain phase of Nicolas Cage. Well, then you've got, what was that?
Mom and
Dad.
Yep.
That wasn't that bad of a movie.
Nope, I liked it. That was all right.
What was that? Bangkok.
Dangerous.
Was that what it was called?
Again, action movie. Like, I didn't think anything of it.
And I think it was he was in that Left Behind
Didn't see that
movie, I want to say.
But he's done really like good things. He's
Yeah.
done a lot of good things, but like it just seems like when I think of Nicolas Cage currently, I think of Drive Angry and that weird
opened
CG.
up a weird repressed wound. Because I completely forgot
even
about
the
that
Wicker
movie.
Man remake, which gets made fun of all the time with the bees and stuff.
Yep.
You know, so I think about that because like my childhood with Nicolas Cage was great.
Yeah,
You
Raising
know,
Arizona.
Raising Arizona. I loved The Rock.
And my God,
I loved The Rock. I
yes,
loved that movie,
yes.
and I loved Face Off. Loved that movie.
Yep.
You know, and The Weatherman, I think it was called, that dark comedy with him in it. I liked that one.
What was that? Matchstick Men?
Didn't
Was
see
he in
one.
that?
Well, there was even for like a corny action, Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
You know, there was fun stuff with Nicolas Cage, and then it just hit a string of, like, first, I mean,
Well, National Treasure. Those are
good.
Good movies.
I
yeah.
like those movies. Those are good. Those are fun. I like those a lot. Yeah, he was good in those. I mean, I love Wild at Heart. I mean, that's way earlier.
Yeah,
But, Wild
I
at Heart is
I
good.
really do think Wicker Man was the start of kind of his downfall.
That's his Metallica Black album.
Yeah,
sure.
because he was still like, I think people expected that movie to be great because it had Nicolas Cage. It was like this.
Based on that, like the original one movie
Yeah.
is great. Have you seen the original Wicker Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And just his acting in that movie became a giant joke.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was downhill from there. But I think nowadays...
Fucking Con Air?
Oh, he
man.
had long hair.
Yeah, he's good.
Yep.
He's good, but like lately, it's been kind of, and I think it was a dangerous thing to pick him up. Well, not dangerous, but like a risky. You know, is it was he in bad movies or is his acting just suffered now? Is he just not good at it anymore? Nope. I'll tell you that he's fine.
Yeah,
it was the movies. It wasn't him.
Definitely the movies. But I think he's doing a lot more like independent, more out there stuff lately.
Yeah.
And this movie is
as out there as it can go.
Yeah. So it starts off in a forest. We're quick to learn that Nicolas Cage's character Red is a lumberjack, sawing down the trees with a chainsaw.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And then we get a shot of his wife smoking some sort of something.
Yeah, she looks like if Shelley Duvall got into Black Sabbath
and shaved her eyebrows off,
and read Leah Tor books. If that was that the name of the author that she's reading, something Tor.
I think so.
Liana Tor, maybe.
Yeah, something like the serpent's something or other.
But she, if they ever did a remake of The Shining,
Shelley Duvall,
she could do it. She's got the look.
Yeah.
She's really skinny. She's super pale with like black hair, and she had no eyebrows. And the one eye, I swear to God, the iris was bigger than the other one. I think it could have been just a contact thing.
I couldn't tell if it was an effect that they're doing with the camera or what was going on, but there's all sorts of trippy visuals going on in this movie, so it's hard to say.
It was
really, and then we get this. It does this a few times in the movie, like title cards that are.
They look like heavy metal.
Yes,
like album cover, like like some like heavy metal like band.
Yeah,
like, where you can barely read what it says.
Yeah, so this first one is Shadow Mountains, 1983 AD. So this movie takes place in 1983. There's not a whole lot that gives away that this movie takes place in the early 80s, besides her band T-shirts that she's always wearing.
I guess
and the vehicles. Yeah, the vehicles.
But I mean, it could just be a podunk town, kind of a thing.
Nothing really overt that gives it away. No. But his wife Mandy is an artist.
Yep.
They live in the middle of nowhere, out in the forest.
She works at a convenience store.
Yep. He must have been gone for a while because he gets home and there's a big reunion. It goes on for a little while where they're just kind of reconnecting. They go fishing or go out in the lake.
It's like you get a sense that it's like that they are really in love.
Yes.
Yes. Like that fantasy. Like I think I know one couple in my entire life that's like that, where they do everything together, and they never apart, and they're always happy. Maybe two. I don't know. Like me and my wife, we don't do anything together. I mean, we go out to like we'll go stuff to. We're like, she watches TV shows and I go play games, and like it's not like I don't get home from work like well.
They talk about planets. What's their favorite planets?
Yeah, because she's reading a book about it.
Yeah. Then there's.
Is that all your notes for the movie?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's a shot of like her creepy eyes. I think that this is where you were talking about, like so if her eyes.
They had like a fire on a beach, and she's like in the water, like up to her nose.
Yes.
And she's looking at you, and she's like, and then she comes out of the water,
and it gets closer and closer.
Yeah. And then she just stares. I'm waiting for something to happen.
Drugs were being had at this point. Well, this whole movie is one giant LSD trip, but she has I don't know if if it was a dream or if it was actually happening. She's out walking in the woods and she comes across a dead baby deer.
Yeah, and then she comes back to the tent or their camper and tells them a story about whacking a bird with a crowbar or some shit.
Oh yeah, that weird story where I can't remember who the guy was, but
And I think at one point Nicolas Cage looks over at the camera and goes, "What movie is this again?" No, I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, it's just kind of a weird story. And
they have a really cool house, I must say. It's like one of those window houses where like the entire house is windows, but it's not all like symmetrical shapes. It's all like, I know they're obtuse.
yeah, sure,
I know there's a word for
asymmetrical.
something like that. But yeah, the entire house is windows. Their bedroom is especially cool. It's like over one giant window overlooking
A lake.
the lake. Yeah, it's a cool
It's
house.
pretty, but they have a feeling that they should leave this place.
Well, Nicolas Cage, Red, feels like he just wants to get away for some reason.
Yep.
And Mandy doesn't agree. She says, I like it here.
Yep.
It feels safe.
But
Or it's peaceful.
yeah, but then she's walking to a store, where she works, reading her book,
Mm-hmm.
and then a car drives by,
A van.
and
Full of
Jesus
occult.
freaks.
A cult, yes.
Yeah, and then
We get another one of those title cards, and it's the Children of the New Dawn.
Yep. And then we get Thomas Wayne laying on a thing yelling at some white-haired lady about how because he saw the woman walking, and he's
Yeah,
like,
they meet eyes, and
yeah, and he needs her because he feels naked without her.
Mm.
Go get me Brother Swan.
they've got this weird rock. It kind of looks like a piece of a meteorite. It's got some holes in it,
Sure.
which we'll soon learn what these holes are. There's a younger member of this cult, Sister Lucy,
Mm-hmm.
who is probably a sex slave.
She doesn't say much.
No,
And she's like
your first introduction to her is after he's talking to the older lady, Jeremiah. Jeremiah is the cult leader. He says, "Bring me Sister Lucy."
I thought you said you wanted Brother Swan.
Maybe Brother Swan comes in, but then he's like, he wants Sister Lucy, and she comes in and closes the door, and that just gave me the impression that he's about to get his fuck on.
Wow. Gross.
Get his fuck. Then we get Mandy is at work reading her book.
Yep.
And the older woman in the cult comes in. Is
She's
like
like,
gonna buy an apple or something.
Yeah, it's $5. Okay. What are you reading? The latest book by Liana Tor. I think it's my favorite. Oh,
Oh.
that'll be $5. Okay. See you later.
Yeah.
I'm looking that up. Was it Liana Tor?
And then we get it's a nighttime scene, and brother
Swan?
Brother Swan is outside, and he blows into the little magic rock, and it's like a flute, magic rock flute.
Oh, yeah. And he's like doing some crazy call.
Yep, and then we get the four-wheeling biking Cenobites.
Yeah.
They're weird bunch of cats. They are
the biker mice from Mars.
Yep. One's completely like covered in spikes. They look like Cenobites, like
Yep, and they talk weird.
demons. And they give the leader I assume it's the leader. This jar of,
Drug.
well, we don't know what it is. It's it's this pasty
It's
goo.
It's
goo?
just. It was just a really good batch of glue, and they're just glue eaters.
He chugs it down, and there's some sort of pact, and the leader says, "Blood for blood," something to that effect.
So they gotta sacrifice something to these.
Yeah, but
Lickers.
they don't really say what is going on, like what they want from them, or you just have to assume that
Well, they're all
they're
wearing
up to
crosses.
a bunch of bad stuff.
They're all wearing crosses, and we get there.
Yep. Mandy is kidnapped
She is.
out of their home by these Cenobite creatures, humanoids. Red is knocked out.
Knocked out.
And then we get Mandy wakes up in this,
It's their house, I think.
some kind
She's
of
like in their living
dwelling.
room.
Yeah.
It's like she's in her living room.
Oh, it's at their house.
Yeah, and so she's in there, and the guy's wearing a robe. And he's talking about how he's got like the gift of God or something, and he's the whatever
Yeah, he puts a drop of something in her eye.
Yeah,
And then takes out some kind of wasp type creature out of a jar filled with some kind of liquid.
and it is animatronic.
It's
I liked it.
I liked it too. It's bizarre looking.
Oh, but I forget the needles in you. Yeah, the needle in the neck.
Yeah, he holds it up to her neck. The little stinger pops out, and little stab in the neck.
Then
there
he shows
for
her
ya.
his penis, and she laughs at him. And then
Well, so either the eye drop or the sting or a combination of the two completely melts Mandy's brain into a psychedelic trip, and we get this monologue from Jeremiah Sand where he asks her if she likes the Carpenters, and he's like, I got this. It's way better than the Carpenters. And it's his own record.
Yep.
Jeremiah Sand record.
And she's like, "Did you write this?" And he's like, "Yep." And then just starts gut laughing at him.
Yep. After he opens up his robe and his
Wiener's hanging
peni is hanging out.
It's not a peni. He's wrong. It was only one penis.
Peni.
That would indicate multiple penises.
Okay, there is one penis.
Yeah, so he whips his wang out, and she starts laughing at him because first the wang comes out, then his music comes on. She goes, "Did you write this?"
Yeah.
And just gut laughs at him.
Oh, yeah. He does not take that very well.
No, he gets really mad. Stop laughing at me! And then everybody kind of looks away from him because he's freaking out.
Well, and it does this like close up on his face, and it like they swap her face with his face, like
They
superimpose.
They superimpose her face onto his.
Yeah,
without
and
removing
it's
his.
so like, oh man, it just like
Reminded me of Inland Empire. Remember that where they superimpose like Laura Dern's face on that one guy's face wherever he like this like
yeah,
grin.
yeah, it is really unnerving.
Yeah, it's
Very well done.
Yeah.
Like, but then we get he does not take kindly to her laughing, and then we get Nicolas Cage wakes up. He's tied up with barbed wire
around his hands and mouth,
yes.
and he's obviously been beat up a bit.
Yep, and then Jeremiah brings over Sister Lucy.
Do you think what you have is love? Let me show you what love is. Gets her to play Russian roulette,
Yep.
and she pulls the trigger, but she's fine.
Yep.
The bullet doesn't go off.
Yep.
And Nicolas Cage is like, what is going on here?
And then Jeremiah brings out this dagger of some sort, some sort of ceremonial special dagger.
Yeah, he says to him that like the problem, what Jesus did wrong was that something about the cruciform, and that he needed to sacrifice something to God or whatever, and then he stabs him with this knife.
Yep, gives him a nice little shank there, right in the side.
Yeah. So he gets the side piercer, kind of like Jesus did when he was crucified.
And then they bring out Mandy in a sleeping bag.
It's more like a sack. Right?
Because
sleeping bags are fire resistant.
Oh, well. Foreshadowing there. Tie her up by a rope. Douse some gasoline on her.
Light her up.
And she burns right in front of Red.
Yep. Then they leave.
Yep. It is. See this. I mean, there's lots of moments in this movie where Nicolas Cage really shows off his acting skills, because just the look on his face as Mandy is burning. And
so, I mean, he couldn't do much with his face because he had that barbed wire around
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And he was all beat up, but it was convincing. I was completely convinced that, like...
Tear runs down his face.
You know, like, you could see, it was like watching a man break.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun.
Yep.
It was good. I mean, like, he did such a good job. I didn't like watching that. Like,
no, and at first you don't, I mean... It's just a bag on fire, but then the bag starts flopping around, and eventually you actually see her mouth inside the burning bag, and yeah, it's pretty good, pretty bad in a good way.
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I get what you mean. But
so yeah, they just leave,
and they leave him there.
Yep, tied up,
and Carlo Gugino's his hand out of there.
Yep,
that's what I call it.
Not
nearly as bad.
Nothing can touch that scene in Gerald's game. No way.
That still makes me. Yeah. I just like the idea of you sitting down here by yourself screaming, "No!"
Oh my God. Yeah.
But so he gets his hands out, gets out of there,
gets free,
gets into his cabin, drinks some booze.
Oh,
freaks out. That's another good scene. Like when he's freaking out, drinking booze,
pouring the alcohol on his.
He comes in and he's just standing. Like he grabs his shirt up and smells her.
There's a commercial for
Goblin
cheddar,
and he goes, "You're the Goblin."
Cheddar Goblin.
Yeah, Cheddar Goblin. Says,
yeah.
I'm not the guy. He says like, "You're the Goblin" or something like that.
I don't know.
But then he just kind of falls on his bed. But then there's like an animated sequence of her. And it's like her back, and then it zooms into her, and she turns around, and her face melts, and he wakes up. He's like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
Then he goes and drinks a bunch of booze. He pulls out of the bathroom, like under the sink thing, and he's just like pounding it and screaming, and pounding it and screaming, and pouring stuff on his wounds, and he's losing it. And it was that was well done. Like that seemed like he lost it, and
very believable. Yeah.
Then he leaves, and he goes to meet Bill Duke. Also known as, what's his name in this? Carruthers?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Isn't that the name of Carl Weathers' character in Predator? But his name is Carruthers, I think is what his name is.
He goes to collect
his, what do they call it? The Reaper?
The Reaper. Crossbow. And Carruthers says something about like you're gonna need more than that to and then we learn about the Cenobite biker gang.
They're just hopped up on some straight up fucked up drugs.
Yeah, so the story goes that they were
Carruthers.
They were transporting drugs for
the chemist.
Yeah, but they like to dip into the goods a bit too much.
Yep, and they've never been the same.
There's
rumors of these people killing people, and it's like every time you hear it, it's biker gang on black bikes.
Yeah, so they were dipping into the stuff, and so the chemist decides to spike a batch, and they lost their minds. So I really like that, how at first you're like, holy, this is like these otherworldly creatures coming, like what is going on in this movie? And then you learn like, yeah, they're just really fucking high. They're fucked up. So yeah, Nicolas Cage gets his crossbow,
And then he makes an axe.
an axe sword.
I think it must be some kind of lumberjack thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but he has the mold and everything. Just pours. It's actually kind of cool. Like,
It's kind of like, it's like he's like the crazy woodman's John Wick.
yeah, he's pouring the molten metal. He's hammering it out. All that.
Yeah, he's going to war.
Yep. Then he starts sniping the bikers. He gets the spiky one first.
Then he runs his ass over, but he doesn't. Something makes his car flip.
And I'm not sure if that was intentional. Like, I think it was supposed to be he hit the guy and it made his car fly over.
Really?
I just have to believe
I don't really
that.
understand what happened there. But anyways, he wakes up handcuffed in his own apartment again.
With his hand nailed to the floor.
So he's got one hand up here, one hand down here nailed to the floor.
Yep.
So he gets another of the stigmata wounds.
Yep.
And this guy comes and he starts beating him up.
Yeah, he's a little slimy dude.
Yeah, it's weird.
He's got like
But
yeah.
what Nicolas Cage notices, what Red notices is that this pipe is getting loose. So he gets into the whole, please don't hurt me. Then he's like, gets punched, but he's able to get the bar loose, whacks the guy, pushes him down some hole.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't at his apartment.
I don't think it was.
That part wasn't. The part at the apartments where he goes gets the next guy. So he walks over to this other building with this pipe, or he's got a knife or something. Wait a minute. What did he do next? Who did he get next?
Oh well, he gets the guy that's sitting on the couch watching a
The
porno.
Spikes. Yeah, he's watching a porno. He's got a knife dick.
Yeah, when he gets a boner, his little knife thing goes up.
Yep. And so then he kills that guy. Because that guy goes to dick stab him, but it sticks to the floor and he gets stuck. So then Nicolas Cage slashes his neck. That's where he gets all the blood on his face.
Oh,
that he has
yes.
for
Yep.
the rest of the movie.
Yep.
And then, so then he,
Then he finds a jar of the stuff.
Oh, yeah, he takes a taste.
He just dips. So when the leader of this biker gang gets the stuff, he chugs the entire jar.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage, he dips his finger in. First, he like smells it, and he's like,
Well, this is after he snorted a bunch of coke,
Oh,
remember?
yes, he does snort a bunch of coke. Then he finds the jar of stuff, dips just a little tip of his finger.
Like, it looks like the finest coating of this drug. Just barely had any on his finger.
Just a little dip. Sticks it in his mouth.
And
Woo! There's like an animated of his face melting.
it is fucking crazy.
Woo!
Yep. Then he comes back and he's really focused. Jumps out of that place with the Reaper and his axe, and he shoots a guy with
Standing
his
by a
arrow.
burning car.
Yep, and shoots him with his arrow. Then they have a knife fight,
He shoots him right in the neck.
but it didn't hurt him.
Well, yeah, at first you're like, oh, did he miss?
He must have not hit like something important.
Well, I guess, but then the guy takes it and pulls it out of his neck.
Yeah.
Like the long way. Like
Yeah.
it came in the back and he pulled it out that
Then
way.
they fight.
Yep. He's got his big axe sword.
Yep, and you can see kind of like it's kind of neat with this fight scene because the other guy is like slowly like gassing out. You can see him gassing out, and finally Nicolas Cage gets the upper hand and starts him on fire, then chops his head off, and then lights a cigarette off his flaming head.
Yeah.
Then he throws his axe at the other guy. He just sees a guy working like waxing his car.
Oh,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
see the axe flying.
Yeah,
in the
this
air.
is one of the cult members.
Yep.
He's completely wiped out the biker gang.
Yep. Now he's going after the cult members. That's
Yep.
the first one he gets. No,
Yep.
That's not the first one he gets. He comes up behind the girl, Lucy, and Brother Swan in the van.
Oh, that's right.
And
yes.
then they both get out, and he, punches him, puts him up against the wall, and then Brother Swan starts talking shit. But before he can finish, he puts the sword end of his axe in his mouth and keeps shoving it deeper and deeper. And he's just, blood's coming out, and blah, blah, blah. And Lucy's just like, I'm still high. And Nicolas Cage just leaves her.
Yeah, because I think he realizes that she's kind of, I don't know if unwilling is the right word, but I think he sees that she's not in the same category as the rest of them.
Yeah. Then he finds the guy with the car, throws the axe at his head. Then he fights the guy with the chainsaws.
Oh, yes. He sees a chainsaw laying on the ground, so he picks it up.
Drops his
trying
axe.
to start. Yeah, it's trying to start it. The other guy,
He's got a big-ass chainsaw.
Yeah,
He's
like
big himself.
like a 6-foot-long chainsaw. It's like that Star Wars with the ship going over, or Spaceballs, where the ship just keeps going and going and going. Yeah, he pulls out this chainsaw, and it's like,
It's huge.
it's gigantic.
And so then they fight.
Have a chainsaw battle.
And he ends up whipping a chain around the other guy's neck and pulling him on top of the chainsaw. And then you just get this scene of like, blah, 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 blah.
Lots of blood.
Yep. Then he goes to the church. Oh, so actually, I'm sorry. We missed a little bit of a scene. After he kills the guy with the sword end of his axe, he is making his... Oh, you know what we forgot? Shit.
We completely missed the chemist.
Yeah, he meets the chemist, actually. He tracks down the chemist. And the chemist is kind of like,
in like it's almost like a cave.
like a cave lab.
Yeah.
And then he lets
There's
his
a
tiger
tiger
out.
in
And
a
the tiger,
cage.
He knows the tiger's calm, so he knows his batch is good.
Yeah.
So he lets the tiger out, but he's like answering questions that Nicolas Cage isn't answering or asking. Nicolas Cage is staring at him. He goes, "Yep, this has to be done. Yeah, they're north." And so he goes north and does all those things. And
There's an animated.
we're really kind
Shot.
of glossing over that scene,
Yeah.
but that scene with the chemist is really interesting. Like it's very disturbing. Like
Yeah.
it feels.
I don't know. I was kind of like I think too caught up in the wacky, bizarre, trippy nature of it all to like realize that he was answering questions that
Nicolas Cage wasn't asking.
yeah. But yeah, you get like an animated shot of the tiger roaring.
Because now he's coming. Remember, he was wearing the tiger T-shirt before.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyways, then he does all those things. Then he gets to the church. So at one point, he's looking down into a quarry, and he sees like a church being built. So he goes down there.
So this is after the chemist is when he impales the Brother Swan through the head, and all those events take place.
Yep. So now he goes to the church.
It's like this big, almost like it is a pyramid with a giant cross.
And he goes, then there's just a hole in there.
Yeah.
Well, he finds there's like a podium, and he reads, I imagine, some form of the Bible or something. He just tosses it aside and sees that there's like a crawling hole thing. So he jumps down into this hole, and he's going along this hole, and then he runs into the old lady.
Yep, and she's all hopped up, talking about how she's the most sensitive lover, and she can sense all the moves. I don't know.
She's making shit up. She's high as a kite.
Yep. Then we next get Nicolas Cage walking in, or no, you see Jeremiah, and then you see a severed head fly into the room, and it is the old woman.
Yeah.
Old woman's head.
See you later.
Yep.
And then Jeremiah goes into this whole talking about how he's the next Jesus or something. And then Nicolas Cage is,
not having any of it.
Nope. And he goes and grabs his head. And then this.
At first, Jeremiah is like, "No, don't."
Yeah, he's like, "Don't hurt me, please. I'll suck your dick."
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not kidding. I'm not making that up. He says, "I'll suck your dick."
Mm-hmm.
I'll blow you, man. I'll suck your dick, and blah blah blah. And he goes, "Wait a minute. I don't kneel to you. You kneel to me." And then Nicolas Cage gets all fucking Macho Man Randy Savage and like an elephant, and all like demon voice comes out. "I'm your god now."
Yeah. What is that from? I feel like that is from something.
I agree.
I'm
It does
your
seem
god
familiar.
now.
Also, lighting a cigarette off a flaming head reminds me of something. But
Yeah. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is very angry.
"I'm Your
and
God
very,
Now" is a song by Machine Head.
Very angry and is pretty much done.
Yeah, he's had enough.
So he
Squash.
squeeze,
And you get a straight up 80s style head smash.
eyes pop out of their
Yep.
sockets.
And it looks like it was done on a mask. And I loved it.
No CGI here. That's the best thing about this movie. No CGI. All practical effects.
Well,
exactly as it should be.
Yeah, it was good.
Yep. Then we get like a flat, maybe like a dream.
Well, he leaves the place.
He's driving in his car.
He gets in the car, and he's staring out, and you see her again.
Sitting in the passenger seat.
Well, you see her in front of the car. Then it goes to a scene of them like seeing each other at a bar.
Well, that's afterwards. That's the
But
end of the movie.
Oh, I thought the end it was when they're looking at each other in the seats and he's driving.
Oh,
he does
maybe
that,
it
he does
is.
that smile. He does the Nicolas Cage
Yes,
smile.
yes.
And so he sees her, and you kind of see how they meet each other.
Mm.
Then you see her in the car, and he puts on the big Nicolas Cage grin.
Yep. And first his face is normal.
Yeah.
And then it does another cut, and it's his grizzly beard covered in his whole face
Yeah.
covered in blood, and he's
Yeah.
got this like
Cracked smile. You know,
Yeah.
he's at this point he's.
gone.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
then we get like a landscape view shot, and it's like the cover of freaking Manowar album.
Yeah, it's some crazy. There's like 3 planets.
Yeah.
He's like leaving hell or something, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, that is the movie. I would say instant seal of approval.
Yep.
I would go gold,
Yep.
not platinum,
Nope.
because it is a little bit. Well, I don't know.
God, I'd
It-
almost
it-
go that high.
It accomplishes what it sets. I feel like the vision it sets out to accomplish, it by far accomplishes that.
The sound is awesome. The music, I was in love with the music the whole time. You had some 80s like electronic feel, but then you had like some straight up doom metal going on in there too. And I've been listening to today, or Om, which is like a chunk of the band Sleep. Plus on the last 2 albums, I think Rob Lowe from Solitude Eternus, and he also was with Candlemass, did some backing vocals on this shit.
Oh.
So I was like in love with that.
It starts with a King Crimson song.
Starts with and who called that? I called it. That's right. I'm like, this is King Crimson. You're like, let me do this thing with my phone. Yep, King Crimson. And so I was in love with the music. Music gets his platinum for me. I'd give the music a platinum. The cinematography and how he shoots things with the lightings and the way he does scenes, I'd give that a platinum. He's got a style, and it's hard to come up with a style nowadays.
The insanely trippy, nature of it.
But even the non-trippy parts, just the normal shots and how he did things.
Yeah.
It was like super psychedelic, but like it wasn't confusing though. Like it felt like a dream sequence.
That was my main takeaway of the movie, how easily it could have fallen apart or just dragged, being this incomprehensible mess with how trippy and obtuse the movie is, it actually is at the same time coherent.
Yep.
And the plot makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, the acting is mostly good. I'm thinking. I can't think of any bad acting in the movie. Even the girl that doesn't say anything is like their like love slave.
Yeah.
I mean, even she nails that. Like because she's completely snowed, drugged up, and like she's just like virtually comatose, and like she's just like the only time you get any emotion from her is when she pulls the trigger and it doesn't go off. She startles a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you have that, but yeah, nope. Fuck, I'd almost give this a platinum. I don't know what's holding me back from it, and I can't think of what's holding me back when I think about this movie.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I mean, I really liked Beyond the Black Rainbow, and I saw that in the worst possible way, and I really liked that movie. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Panos.
I think you might be right. Yeah, it's.
It's been a while since I've given one away, and I think I feel safe giving it to this.
It is so fucking cool. It stands alone. Like there is. I mean, maybe.
I mean, for the things that hits on for horror movies, that's typical in horror movies. It even like it nails the homage to it, but then is his own at the same time.
Right.
Like, I mean, people will put their own stamp on things anyways, but his is cool.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool stamp.
It is very unique. Extremely unique.
Yeah.
And I think
I really enjoyed
that in and of itself like deserves some high praise.
Like I said in the first 5 minutes of the film with like just the screenshots, I'm like, I already give this a gold just based on these few shots.
Yeah.
I said that when we first started watching. Just it looks so cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to him.
I have to agree.
And give it to the
platinum.
Group. Platinum for that movie. They get it. I like it very much. Oh man. I want to watch it again. Like,
needless to say, highly recommended.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've been watching this, hopefully you've already seen it because we've just. It's impossible to spoil this movie because the visuals alone are indescribable.
It's like watching painting.
Yeah, you have
like,
to. You have to see it, and
it's like getting a tattoo.
Even seeing it. I could easily see someone having their own interpretation of the movie.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like religious overtones that we're missing and stuff. Like how we kind of missed a lot of that with Mother. Yeah. I bet you there's things that we're missing. Like I was picking up like the stigmata stuff with like the piercing in the side and the hand. I was waiting for the feet one.
And there very well could be something to do with the book that Mandy is reading.
Yeah, which I couldn't find, but yeah.
But in any case, that
movie's great. Good job.
Platinum Award goes to Mandy.
Yep. Good job, cast, crew, makeup, special effects.
Get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you thought of Mandy. Again, anything we've missed, let us know in the comments below. If there are any secret, hidden
imagery, something that you guys recognize that we don't, please.
Yeah, different ways to look at this movie. But subscribe, leave a like. You can get the audio only forms on iTunes and Google Play. New episodes every weekish. Yeah, that's about it. From us at Scream Fiends, so long and farewell.
Yeah.